hello, wine-drinking people. Well, hey, next up, we had a new wine from Alsace. Man, how exciting does that get, right? I mean, here's an area that's been torn apart. Germany, France, Germany, France, Germany, France. It's the only area of France that you can put reserve on the label. Legally. It's illegal to do that in the rest of France. Hey, I thought it was illegal as of a few years ago to send American wine to the European Union with the term reserve on it. How did they get away with it in Alsace? Anyways, I've never heard of this producer before. Supposedly they're the largest family-owned winery in Alsace, Gustave Lorenz. And, it's entry-level Alsatian stuff. Oh, did I say Alsatian? That's a dog. Anyways, entry-level wine from Alsace. The Pinot Blanc, this is one of the grapes they hang their hat on there. Really nice, fruity, fresh style. Not very complex, but, again, a nice little simple everyday wine, $17.25. And then we had the Riesling. This had a light quinine kind of character to the nose, almost like ginger ale. Really eerie how much this wine reminded me, not only on the nose, but on the palate of ginger ale. But a decent little Riesling there as well. And then the Pinot Gris, Schaffweg, which is supposedly a vineyard site right next to the largest Grand Cru site, Bergheim. And then little different aspects, supposedly that's why it wasn't included in the Grand Cru, but right there next to it, he showed me the map. And then some nice tangerine and pear fruit here. A little bit more concentration, a little bit more richness, and you're definitely showing a little more of the terroir of Alsace here. The first two wines, just really light quaffers. And then we had the Gewürztraminer, which one of the most distinct varietals in the world. You really notice that sweet peach, that lychee nut, that lovely floral perfume note that you get from Gewürztraminer, and a hint of white pepper spice here. But, the wine was good also. Can you tell I was inspired by this tasting? Good wines, not the reason why I get out of bed in the morning. All right, and then up, we had a group from small vineyards. And these are just that. They don't accept people unless they're 1,000 cases or less and only so many employees. I forget all the caveats that, this gentleman was listing as to what, designates them as small producers. But hey, they have time to put a little football on each of the bottles that says small producers. So on one of their marketing ploys. And, some nice little wines here. This little Poggio Vignoso Chianti, which, very typical old world style Chianti, light, really good little quaffer, everyday wine. Floral notes, cherry, strawberry, fruit, hint of that dried leather. $12.75. Man, how do you build a portfolio of wines around $10 wines? I guess they have some more impressive wines here that are more expensive. Small vineyards, cheap. Man, like I said, I was trying to add up how they made a living in this company here. Another Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, another very simple wine from Italy in a $10 price range that was nice, an everyday quaffer. I mean, it had some nice earthy notes, a little flinty minerally notes, but pretty much simple and straightforward like most Montepulciano d'Abruzzos. Not the reason why I get out of bed in the morning. Next up, a Valpolicella Classico, and not very inspired by this wine either. For some reason, just a little dried cherry fruit, not very fresh, and it did have that typical terroir that you get out of wines from Verona, a little bit of that Play-Doh kind of clay minerality, but again, not very inspired by that one. And then Poderi Elia Scarparelli Barbaresco. And one of my favorite things in the world is Barbaresco. So I was really looking forward to tasting this wine just to see, if I was going to get excited by something in this portfolio. Not that any of the wines were bad, but like I said, just not real exciting. Well, this Barbaresco had a lovely nose. Perfume is one of the perfume nose and floral components you get out of Barbaresco, one of the most pleasing things, and had a lot of that dried potpourri kind of spice, brown spices, and lovely red berry fruit. Big and tannic on the tongue, though. These guys aged their wine in barrique. This guy invested in a ton of new barrique. So, Nebbiolo is tannic as heck as it is. So when you put young Nebbiolo in barrique, and this is 2005, a very forward vintage, wines that when you put next to 2004, almost everyone likes the 05 better because of how drinkable they are. Well, this wine had so much tannin in it, it was not very enjoyable at this time. So we were going to reserve judgment on that one, and for you, small vineyards.